Good afternoon. So today is our first week for the second semester lesson for the subject CSS 12. So now, before we proceed with our topic for today or for this week, let me first read to you the objectives of this lesson. So objectives. At the end of this lesson, the student should be able to A. Distinguish the types of computers and identify the parts of a desktop computer. So on this lesson, we are going to learn about what are those types of computers and the parts or the different types of a desktop computer. So now let's proceed. So first, we have our topic, types of computer. So do you have any idea or what are those types of computers? So now here we are going to learn about it. So now we have the first one. The type of computer we have is this one. What do you think is this one? What do you think? What kind or what type of computer is I have shown you or in the picture? Alright, so this type of computer is what we call the supercomputer. So supercomputer is the biggest and most expensive type of computer. So which can process trillions of instructions per second. So supercomputers are at the front line in terms of processing capability. So they are mainly used in scientific engineering computations. So example for this is we have the IBM supercomputer Blue Gene /P at Argonne National Library. Alright? So the second one we have here, this picture. What do you think or what type of computer is it? Alright, so our second picture or our second type of computer is what we call the mainframe computer. So this is the second. Of course, our first one is the supercomputer. So the second biggest type of computer is the mainframe. So when you say mainframe computers, these have the capacity to process millions of instructions in seconds and are capable of retrieving billions of data. So unlike a supercomputers, mainframes are usually used for transaction processing. So, kung si supercomputer is for scientific engineering computations, si mainframe computations naman or mainframe computer is for transaction processing. So, the third one is we have this one. So, this is what we call the mini computer. So when you say mini computer, this possesses most of the features and capabilities of a mainframe computer. But compared to a mainframe computer, mini computer is smaller in size and processing capability. So it accomplishes slightly less in work and has lower performance than a mainframe computer. So we have an example of this is the PDP-7 mini computer. Fourth one. So here we have the personal computer. This is the mostly used here in the Philippines, the PC or the personal computer. So again, this is a very common type of computer that is affordable for most computer users. So other names for this are desktop computers and the microcomputer. So example is Dell G5. This one, the fifth one, we have the mobile devices. So mobile devices, these are the laptops, tablets, and smartphones. So what we are using right now on making this video is what we call the laptops, or this is also included as the mobile devices. And then the phones that we are using is also a mobile devices. So mobile devices such as tablets and smartphones possesses lower performance and processing capabilities than the microcomputers, which many laptops possess processing capabilities that can match even top of the line PCs and the microcomputers. So example for this is the Dell XPS Tower. So next, now we are going to proceed with the parts of the desktop computer. So what are those types or what are those parts of a desktop computer? So you have to listen on this because we are going to have this on our activity in our quiz. You are going to identify the parts of a desktop computer. So the first part of a desktop computer is what we call, alright, so what do you think is that? Alright, so the first one is we have the system unit. So system unit, as we all know, this is the main part of the computer. It is an enclosure that contains the major parts of a computer. So we are going to know what are found on the system unit. First, we have this one. The part is the chassis or the system case. So the enclosure that houses the CPU and other interior components of a computer. So normally it has expansion slots, spare drive base, and enough space for other components and expansion cards. Next is the motherboard. So the main printed circuit board which holds the components of a computer. So it supplies power and provides ways for the components to communicate with each other. And then we also have alright, this one is what we call the CPU or the Central Processing Unit. So CPU or Central Processing Unit is a device that handles and executes all the data and instructions that the computer receives. So it is also known as the brain of the computer. Next one is we have the memory module or the board. So this is a device that allows computers to store and retain information. So it is installed into a dedicated slot on the motherboard which has varying specifications, and this is therefore motherboard dependent. And also we have the hard disk drive, so or the HDD. So hard disk drive is a storage device that hold the operating system and the data files. So an HDD has read or write heads attached to a mechanical um, arm that moves around a storage platter. So next one. So on the picture, what we have there is the floppy disk drive or the FDD. So floppy disk drives or FDD is a device that reads and writes information on an outdated storage device called the floppy disk. So which has only 1.44 MB worth of storage space. And then the last one we have the optical disk drive. All right, so optical disk drives, it can also be used for the DVD, CD, or the BD-ROM. So this is a device that reads and writes information on compact disc, or what you call the CD, the digital versatile disc or the DVD, and the Blu-ray disc. So that could be all for our lesson for the parts of the computers and for the parts of a desktop computer. Again, types of computers and parts of the desktop computers. So that could be all for our lesson for this week, and see you on our next meeting. Thank you and goodbye.